Okay, I think I have figured it out. When a new season is announced, Riker first makes a video saying, "Season next looks the best it has ever been. Is Diablo 4 coming back?" Then the season drops and he says he's enjoying it. Then 1 week passes and the season's dead. No one likes it anymore because it's garbage as always. And then the last bit before the new season gets revealed is season that previously sucked like always is about to be saved? Question mark. I think I have figured out the Diablo 4 playbook, boys.
Season 11 of Diablo 4 may just have been saved, and something crazy and Diablo related may happen at the Game Awards. Hey folks, this is Riker, and we just had the dev stream for Season 11, and it's making me change my tune.
I actually wonder who are the brave, obviously LGBTQ friendly devs that are going to pop up on that stream, because doesn't anyone even care at this point?
On how I felt about Season 11. I wasn't too hyped for it. I thought Season 10 was going to remain the best season, but based on changes that they're making, based on the test server feedback, as well as some mysterious hype stuff going on, which we'll get to, Season 11 may actually be incredible. So there's a couple big topics that we're going to tackle today between the dev stream as well as the Game Awards stuff. So if you want to jump ahead to specific topics, you can do so with the timestamps below. But before we move on, a quick word from this video's sponsor. All right, we're going to start with the Game Awards stuff. We have known for weeks and possibly months that the Diablo 4 dev team has been saying, watch the Game Awards. The Game Awards take place from 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Dude, imagine, you're Blizzard. You cannot make a good game for the life of you. And now your genius marketing team is, how about we spend multiple millions in the Game Awards to promote our shitty new expansion? Because it has to be the new expansion. Like, what else is it gonna be? Oh, Season 12 is actually good, guys. Come back, please. No, it's obviously the new expansion, which I'm sadly probably gonna buy and play because, I mean, it's gonna be bad, and I need to experience how bad it is, okay? Diablo 4's original story was not actually even that bad, honestly. It was pretty decent. You know, the girl with the pans sucked and was really annoying. I don't even know why she was there at the end of the day. I have no clue. But she was there. That was bad. But Vessel of Hatred, oh my god, was that the worst. No final boss fight. The story doesn't make sense. I mean, wow. The Burn Church guys, and they're like a throwaway thing that you literally deal with in 20 minutes. I'm not joking. 20 minutes of gameplay. They literally only appear in those 20 seconds, and then it's it. It's ridiculously stupid.
To 11 p.m. Eastern. And it was just revealed today, just a couple hours ago.
I mean, the first quest you do in Vessel of Hatred is literally you meet well, actually the second part of the quest is you meet a guy who's in, I think he's in, I don't remember in which city he is, but he's in one of those desert cities, and he's like, I have to stay here and help my people because I love my people. And 30 seconds later he is, okay, I will leave with you. What the fuck? It's just so stupid, bad, and nonsensical. My people need. Oh, wait, no, actually, let's go on a walk. God damn, I hate this game.
That Diablo 4 Season 11 starts on December 11th at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Half an hour after the Game Awards ends, or generally.
I'm sure, like, no one cares.
Game Awards run a little bit long, so at a safe amount of time after the Game Awards end. Now, for the past 10 seasons, we've pretty much known and...
Wait, does Blizzard actually, like, think that audience is going to be watching the Game Awards and that's why they're not playing the game? Jesus.
Could predict and expect when the next season will begin. Because on day one of a season, you can go into the Battle Pass and it'll tell you when that battle pass ends. And the next season would start on the same day that the previous season and battle pass would end. So from the start of season 10,
most people are scratching their heads and thinking, "Wait, what is a battle? What is the battle pass?"
we could predict that season 11 was going to begin on December 9th, because on December 9th is when the battle pass ends. But for whatever reason, Blizzard is deciding to postpone the season 2 days later to directly after the Game Awards. They've never done it on a Thursday before, and they've also never done it at 11 p.m. at night. This is actually a terrible...
This is gonna be funny because whatever that is gonna be a shit announcement. Whatever they announce is gonna get laughed out the door. It doesn't matter what they announce. The new expansion, the whatever, people are gonna mock it. It's because it's gonna be bad. Like, no one believes that anything positive can happen in Diablo 4 at this point.
Time for everyone in the world. It is in the middle. It is like 5 in the morning in Europe. It's just a terrible time for everyone. Employees at Blizzard have to stay late for the server launch. It is the most inconvenient, awful time for all possible parties, players, devs, wherever country or region you are in. So given they're doing that, they're not doing it for frivolity. They must have a very good reason for doing so. Why postpone the season if you're not going to be revealing something at the Game Awards that is going to affect that season? It is almost as though they are withholding something that is coming to the season and only going to reveal it at the Game Awards. And then it's like, and you can experience it in half an hour when the season starts. We've all had a good reason to believe that the second expansion was going to be revealed at the Game Awards. That was a pretty safe bet. But due to a recent statue tease, which is unrelated to Diablo 4, and I'll talk more about that in a future video. But outside of that, we had an industry insider, Jez Corden, who has come out and said that, per his sources, yes, the Diablo 4 expansion will be revealed and more. So there's something outside of the expansion that will also be revealed. And I think this ties into whatever is going to be connected to Season 11, because I don't think it's going to be a stealth drop of Expansion 2. It doesn't make sense for them to...
Why would Blizzard stealth drop anything? They have never done it before.
Just release Expansion 2 without any fanfare, any build-up, right? They want their 6 months of pre-orders. It just doesn't make business sense to stealth drop an expansion. So whatever else it's going to be, it's got to be something, again, significant enough to be advertised at the Game Awards and worth postponing the entire season for. This is unprecedented for Blizzard and Diablo 4. So whatever's...
Again, I literally cannot wait until we know what it is and how stupid of a decision it was. Because you know that that's happening. Like, seriously, is anyone watching this and thinking, oh boy, it's gonna actually be something good and no, it's gonna be shit. Actually, you know what? It's probably gonna be a new class drop. What else can it honestly be? They're not announcing the thing. They were planning like the paladin or whatever. I mean, they're definitely announcing something. Shit, is it actually? No, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is too. If they drop a new class, I will review the new class and mock it for how fucking dull and samey it is.
What's going on?
Because you know the class is going to be literally the same as gameplay as the rest of Diablo 4. Somehow stun all enemies on screen, pull them together, and then nuke them while having a full shield and, you know, all of that garbage. You know it's going to be the same. You know whatever class they release is going to be the same fucking garbage tier dumpster fire as the rest of the game.
My interest in Season 11 has immediately perked up. I'm expecting some kind of a surprise. Because at this point, if there isn't, and we're starting, I gotta start my stream and stream through the freaking night until the wee hours of the morning for nothing, a lot of people are not going to be happy. So before we move on from that, folks, if you want to drop your predictions in chat as to what it's going to be, and your prediction could be a nothing burger, and we're all going to be pissed. That could be your prediction. Go put your prediction in the comments below, upvote what you think is going to happen, and then in a week from now, you can come back and say, hey, I was right, hey, I was wrong. Well, you're not going to come back and say you were wrong, but... Because now we'll move into the discussion of the Campfire chat and the changes happening from PTR, which I think are actually going to improve Season 11 based on the experience that we had on the PTR. They touched upon a number of the pain points that were brought up. I'm not going to go over everything Season 11 is doing. I did that in a previous video. Go watch that video first to know all the new features in Season 11. I'm just going to highlight the changes now, because some of the criticism or some of the, well, I had some criticisms, but the big takeaway was Season 11 is an adjustment season. They're retooling a lot of things, and Season 11 was a big power creep. Sorry, Season 10 was a big power creep season. Season 11 is going to feel like a nerf season in comparison, and I believed for a lot of people, Season 11 would be much less fun than Season 10. So Season 11 was the first season where I was saying, I don't think this is going to be the best season of D4. Because every other season I've been like, this is shaping up to be the best season of D4 yet. And after playing Season 11 PTR, I'm like, I think Season 10 remains the best season of D4 yet. But now, based on changes they're making, again, they're addressing a number of the things that I thought was going to make the game less fun in Season 11. So first off, the Masterworking changes. I was not fond of the changes to Masterworking on PTR. Now they're changing that.
Well, no one was. Those changes were literally worse than previously. They completely do not understand the changes, why they made them. It just been,
to make it something that I think is not just more fun, it's actually even arguably stronger than the old Masterworking system. So quality, right? They replaced Masterworking with a simple quality system that you quality up the item up to 20% quality, and it increases the base affix of the item. So armor, you just increase the armor. Weapon, you just increase the damage. So first off, quality will now go to 25. So it goes from a max of 20% increase to a max 25% increase. But that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is now it affects all affixes. Not just the base affix, and not just the non-base affix. Every affix is getting buffed now.
Whoa.
So the previous Masterworking system, right? It only buffed the non-base affixes. The revision for PTR had just the base affix. Now we're getting both. So that's why this is now even stronger. We're getting the best of both worlds.
Wow.
The other thing they're changing, once you would max out the quality of an item.
Yeah. Oh, dude. How does... Oh, we're just gonna give you bigger numbers. Bro, I don't care about bigger numbers. It doesn't feel good when instead of a 10, I'm hitting a 20. And that's because it's usually like a 20 trillion, billion, or whatever shitty number you attach to it. Like, no one cares about the numbers. No one understands what good numbers are anyway. The average class in Diablo 4 is literally rolling a fucking dice with their attacks between dealing literally 5 to 127 billion damage. It's fucking stupid. Like, who cares that you're getting more damage? Like, how is Blizzard this stupid? Nobody's complaining about the damage in game. Everyone's complaining about gameplay, and Blizzard, as always, in their absolute modernity, are like, yes, let us change once again something that literally no one asked for, no one complained about, and no one saw as a problem, because it wasn't a problem. Now let us change it into a problem in, in a season in the future. Yeah, it's stupid.
You would get one capstone upgrade that would transform a non-greater affix into a greater affix. They're changing that the capstone now just increases, it gives a buff to the affix of 50%, independent of it being a GA. So if it's already a GA, it's going to get buffed even more. And they're still retaining the ability to re-roll that capstone affix. So again, even more power, as opposed to being kind of robbed of power where it's like, well, if I have a 4 GA item, I'm not benefiting at all from the capstone. So yeah, previously I just found the new Masterworking system more boring and less powerful. And now they made it more interesting and much more powerful. Another complaint I had was about the new Toughness system, the rework. The going from the previous resistance system to the new resistance system, which is more like the D3 resistance system, which I'm not particularly fond of. I prefer the Diablo 2 / every other ARPG style.
No one is fond of the Diablo 3 system because Diablo 3 was a blatant failure of a game.
They're not changing that, but what they are doing is giving us...
But I did say that this is going to happen. They're going to find ways to make Diablo 4 into Diablo 3 even more, and there you go.
more information with regards to the toughness stat. So that was one of my complaints about that, is just that, well, toughness is a meaningless number. I don't know.
You know what I think is one of Blizzard's biggest problems? It's the fact that they make a shitty system, and then they find a minor way to make the shitty system better, and then the mouth breathers, slop devourers, knuckle draggers are like, oh yeah, this is actually really good. You made the shitty system better, and Blizzard is like, aha, we're on the right track to make a fundamentally stupid system that no one likes, like slightly less ass. And that's where we're stuck at for like a year and a half now.
What it means. I don't know how much getting more of a certain amount of resistance is worth to my toughness, and what the toughness stat even represents with regards to different difficulties. So what they're at least doing is for
well, you're not supposed to think, Riker. You're supposed to get excited and beg for next product.
every torment tier, they're going to have a recommended toughness value. So
oh boy,
it's something to aim for, where it's like, okay, if I'm going to go to, you know.
By the way, the difference between capped out resistances in armor versus recommended toughness value, there's no difference. There's no difference. This is like a band-aid on the fact that the only thing that any sane person who plays this game cares about is the max torment difficulty. That's it. Outside of the max torment difficulty, nothing matters. This is like just a band-aid solution that they're strapping on and trying to say, oh, look at this, the torment before the last torment actually matters. You need to get this toughness or it's not gonna be good. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Diablo 4 just being so disappointing constantly. It's not even that fun anymore. It's not honestly even that fun anymore, because the disappointment is the same shit over and over again. It's like Blizzard literally never learns anything from their glaringly obvious mistakes.
And two, I want to aim for that amount of toughness. That kind of replaces maxing out your armor and resistances. So we still have a target to aim for, to feel like we are tough enough. And you might ask, well, how do they come up with that number? What they aimed for was actually making us tougher than we currently would be. Because they said, even now, if you max out your armor and resistances, you could still get one shot by stuff. So if you hit the recommended toughness that they are suggesting per torment tier, you ought to now be even tougher than you would be with your maxed out armor and resist on current server. They're also giving us better tooltips when we compare to items, that it'll reflect the change in toughness we can expect to get from equipping an item. Some big changes are being made to Sanctification. That was a contentious system. It was a Gamba slam system where you either brick your item or you make it a lot better, or you get a kind of null result. And overall, they're
by the way, a system like that is great. It would be loved in Path of Exile. It would be loved in Last Epoch. The only place where the Sanctification shit would be hated is Diablo 4, because Diablo 4 players want to get everything for free instantly. And you know what? I can't even blame them. If you're playing Diablo 4, you know that there is no challenge in virtually anything in this game, and it's just kind of annoyance that you don't have. The moment that... Dude, listen, let me just start at level 60 max Torment with the best gear and max Paragon. That's how the game should be. That's literally how the game should be. You should just start off with a perfectly rolled character. And then you could quit the same second you started playing, because that's literally how the game feels.
A lot of changes here that you're more likely to get a very good result or a positive result as opposed to a negative result. So specifically, the outcome of rendering your item indestructible, that is gone and being replaced with randomly getting an extra 5 to 25% quality to the item. So you can go above the 25 cap to get up to potentially 50% quality. That is a great Sanctification outcome. Even if you get the 5%, right, it's still something beneficial. People also complain about, oh, like, if I sanctify my mythic or like a good unique, there was one outcome that would re-roll an affix, and that is generally undesirable on, you know, really good items that have specific, very desirable affixes. So they are just making it that
How about you just don't fucking put the good item that you're afraid to lose in the fucking system that can break it? How about that? Does that sound too complicated for the typical Diablo player enjoyer? Honestly, probably yes.
On GA uniques as well as mythics, that is not a possible outcome. So you will not be rolling off any stats and replacing them. They also added in a bunch of offensive aspects. Apparently a lot were missing as potential outcomes of the slam. And they even said they didn't want to spoil anything, but they added some crazy stuff in there as possible outcomes. So there should be even more crazy, powerful stuff that can happen with Sanctification. And they've also just kind of generally buffed all the Sanctification outcomes. So obviously we're not getting to test these outcomes, but in general, overall, it seems as though Sanctification is going to be much more likely to give you some degree of upgrade. The question is just, is it going to be a bit of an upgrade or a ridiculous huge upgrade? So I think people are going to be overall more hyped for Sanctification now. Getting into slightly more granular things now, the Melted Heart of Selig. It was kind of crazy OP. Well, okay, crazy OP. It was very powerful on PTR. There were some builds that would stack enormous amounts of resource. So Melted Heart of Selig is basically the new mana shield. They took the idea of the mana shield chaos perk from season 2.
Do we care about specific shit? Granular points. I don't think we care about specific stuff. It's like, oh, I can by the way, I can tell you literally all of this, okay? Because Blizzard has been uniquely consistent in ruining the game on, you know, the granular stuff. Effectively, Riker is gonna say this about everything that he wants to talk about here. There was this one fun thing a lot of players enjoyed. Blizzard nerfed it and now it's useless. There was this thing that no one used. Blizzard buffed it, but it's still garbage because they buffed it in the wrong way, so it's still garbage. That's it. That's what Blizzard does. For some reason, again, classes had the ability to teleport, and that was cool, and never even liked it. Blizzard looked at that and said, no, teleportation bad. While you literally have barbarians leaping across the map in 3 milliseconds. Yeah, sure. Fucking teleportation bad, Blizzard. But it's a leap! Yes, it's a leap, Sonny. It's a leap. Anyway, that was Riker. Bless his soul, because God knows no one else at this point is gonna actually care about being me to actually talk about what happens in Diablo 4. Good luck, have fun, bye-bye.